Hello. Today, my presentation topic is Innovative Pedagogy for Students of Healthcare Professional and Evidence-Based Review. Before starting the topic, I would like to share something that what we all understand about the word a pedagogy. It is a new word, a Greek word, which means method and practice of teaching, especially to the academics or the students. Pedagogy is a way of learning and a way of teaching. Why are we here confirming about the only healthcare professionals? Because we are a part of it. Healthcare professionals does not include only the orthopedics or the dentist or physiotherapist. It includes the all of them. But here we will focus more on a physiotherapist. Why? Because we are a part of it. A students are main approach or a core of the academics. Why? Because they learn what they gain. And to teach them in the most better way is the main aim of a teacher or a healthy individual. Change begins at the end of our comfort zone. Many a times learning a change seems a bit difficult and to implement it in our daily practice is very challenging. Why do we need that? Because always to be in a same pattern is not a good thing. As we are seeing the new technology arrives, the old one gets old and we don't use it. The same way, we must learn to implement the new technology, we must learn to implement the new standards of living. There are many ways of teaching. Since the historical part we are seeing, the Rishi Munis and all have been teaching to the various phases. They have been going through the pedagogy of different kind. The most traditional pedagogy we have been learned since our school time was a chalk and talk method. Chalk and talk method in which a teachers used to teach with a chalk on the board and the students used to grasp that learning. Later on, they used to take the test in a written format or an MCQ format and then they evaluate it. Another method is a problem-based method in which teacher discusses the problem with the students and then they come to a general conclusion which later on they implement it. The another method is a case-based learning in which a teacher or a guide discusses some particular case or a scenario and then they come up with the conclusion of how to implement the assessment formats and how to evaluate it. One of the very interesting method which I found is a role play, which have been used in a role play method. There are several peoples being allocated to perform their different roles and they have to do it in a very judiciary method. Like if role play is often any RTA, any road accidents, one needs to be an ambulance person, one needs to be a nursing staff, one needs to be a patient, one needs to be a pedestrian, and the role play has been done in very justified manner that each one have to do it in a particular way. So in such a way there are various pedagogies being used in our teaching methods. Some of them is a flipped classroom methods in which students have been provided some pre-recorded pre-recorded videos and then they have to explain it. Blended learning method, blending means to get mixed in it, to mix many of the things, in which blended learning includes face to face and even the e-learning method together. And we have discussed about the case based bedside learning. Theme of this particular PowerPoint presentation is to identify an innovative pedagogy for students in healthcare professional. There were a lot of pedagogies being practiced in various different kinds of fields like engineering, medicines, and pediatricians, another like the art students and all. Depending on their professions, all the pedagogies have been implemented and been updated. But to identify the innovative pedagogy in a systematic manner with the meta-analysis for the healthcare professionalism is my aim. The methodology which I have used is the pedagogy, keywords like pedagogy, case-based, blended, simulation, flipped classrooms, and healthcare professionals. I have used some strategies like PubMed, Sinhal, Google Scholar, and a Cochrane library. Eligibility criteria for the studies include the published in a peer-reviewed or scientific journal in English language. Systematic review were only included, duration of the publications which were from 2012 to 2022, and full text article. Exclusion includes studies in other language except English. Studies which were comparing learning technique with the traditional techniques had been excluded. For that, I have recorded identified to the database searchings of 121, among which there were some duplicates which were removed, that were 96. Then recorded had been screens of 82, and then comparison with the traditional learning records excluded were 21. The 21 were excluded because they were compared with the traditional learning methods. Full text articles assessed for the eligibility was 61. Among them, full text articles with no reasons have been excluded, with reasons have been excluded for 12. Ultimately, at the end, I have got with the studies included in a qualitative synthesis with a good meta-analysis that were 49. Results of the articles. The first one results showed a flipped classroom method, a method in which students were provided with the pre-recorded videos, and then later on they have to teach that video or teach that material to the other students, and this method have been provided between the teacher and student flipping together, and over there wherever student misses the point, teacher needs to explain them in a detail. This method, this method's article had provided with a confidence interval of 0.46, which is quite good confidence interval. We know that if it is nearby to 1, it is a good method. It should be between 0 to 1. If more than 1, it is not a proper reliable one, and if less than 0, it is not good. So this method consists of flipped classroom of 0.46. Another is simulation learning. Simulation learning includes the both the things, that is with the synchronize of face-to-face and e-learning, and together with the teacher guidance. This is the simulation learning, which has a confidence interval of minus 1.08. Another is a blended learning. Blended learning includes the mixture of all the things, that is with the series of 0.81 confidence interval. Future recommendation from the articles includes more number of articles for healthcare professionals are needed. Homogeneous articles were more, so we need to do it in a single way, and follow-up was needed. That is, many of the articles have not mentioned that if students need to be evaluated with the one MCQ test or repeated after it. So the conclusion is blended learning and flipped classroom methods are more effective and implicated with correct guidance. These are my references. Thank you.